even though may corruption scandals, diba? How strong is Duterte's record in fighting against what he said poetically, a whiff of corruption, Justice Carpio?
Well, he had a lot of people uh, who had already a questionable record. He appointed people who were not qualified, like Michael Young as his economic advisor, and he retained people. He took them out of customs and gave them another position in government. So uh, he's not exactly exemplary in this regard. Uh, and Sarah, I think, came
Not
up with a
exactly exemplary, Justice Carpio. Like sounds like how Justice Ascuna would explain certain legal. Not exactly. Justice para diplomatic skills tayo.
well, yeah, Sarah came out, VP Sarah came out with an explanation how she spent the confidential funds. She said she used it in her department when she was a deputy secretary to ferret out those involved in the computer scam. But this is detective work, and I don't think that they had people who who were qualified to do that. She should have given this task to the NBI to do it. How could she have been doing this on her own, doing detective work? No, so it's quite strange, and uh, she has to show results of this detective work that she did on the computer scam there. So, uh, but there's another issue there that, in fact, the Isambayan filed a case before the Supreme Court saying that there is no law authorizing the allocation and use of confidential funds by these agencies, civilian agencies, and the Constitution requires a law for that. The EO of the of President Duterte then is not sufficient because it's not a law. So uh, uh, I think that the explanation is very weak.
Parang ano ba, usurpation of NBI's military intelligence. Like, just to be clear, I think sinabi niya, there were many reports of corruption inside the Department of Education, not just in the central office, but also the regional offices. Malawak daw ang corruption. Kaya they needed siguro daw itong confidential fund. Quote, so whenever there are reports, we will investigate. And one of those we investigated was the laptop deal. So yung pala, she did us a favor, Justice Carpio. We had to give her hundreds of millions of confidential funds so that she gets to the bottom of this laptop scandal in Department of Education. Just as it's very interesting, no? I mean, galing siguro ng staff ni Sarah, no? On one hand, may Mandarin interpreter sila, 'di ba? Yung siguro na practice pa nila yung Jessica, I don't know if you've asked your Chinese Mandarin speaking friends. Sabi nung isa, she did Mandarin like when you do French, tapos binabasa mo lang yung words without it's like, hindi parang Bordeaux, you say Bordeaux. Parang ganun daw nangyari. Parang galing ng staff niya, no? They do NBA work, they do DFA work, they do military intelligence, ibang klase. At ngayon, sinama pa tong a 1 year delayed explanation. But my goodness, just this Farmali issue is finally coming back. I was always shocked. You mentioned Michael Young, by the way. I'm not saying they're related, but maybe they are. No, I mean, Farmali issue, pwede ba ibalikan ng ombudsman yan? Because this was just like 4 or 5 years ago, right? So pasok pa rin dun sa statute of limitation and all. Like, how
Yes,
serious was the Farmali scandal?
yeah, it's still it is not prescribed. It takes about 12 years, 17 years to for that crime to prescribe. Now, and simple lang yun eh. In the family issue, we purchased Sinovac vaccines, di ba? Uh, and Indonesia and Thailand also purchased Sinovac vaccines, and they published their prices, the price at which they bought all of these Sinovac vaccines from China. But the Duterte administration has refused to disclose the price at which they bought the Sinovac vaccines because if it's very high, compared to the prices that Indonesia and Thailand paid, then may problema. I mean, who pocketed the difference, no? So up to now, we don't know how much the Philippine government paid for these vaccines, Sinovac vaccines. And uh, I have friends who went to the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court to direct the DOH to divulge, to reveal the prices of these vaccines. And there has been no action so far from the Supreme Court. So now that there's a new ombudsman, the new ombudsman can just ask the DOH, give me the prices at which the Philippine government paid for this, because I will get also the prices that Thailand and Indonesia paid, and you can see there could be a vast difference. No, see, it's very easy to put to rest this speculation that there was an overpricing, because in Thailand and Indonesia bought their Sinovac vaccines also from China, and they publish their prices, and their prices are more or less the same.
Interesting. And also they got it ahead of us. I think we also were behind
Yes, yeah.
even Zimbabwe, ganon. But the reason I mentioned that is because Digong always tried to frame the relationship with China's special relationship. The way they talk about yung mga vaccines, parang libre yung vaccines. So baka naman just they didn't wanna reveal the price kasi baka mabuking na hindi pala freebies ang binibigay ng China. Baka na-hurt lang sila for China's soft power, hindi kaya.
Well, if the price is low or about equal, they would not stonewall. They would just reveal it, and that's the end of the story. But if you're not revealing it, then you're hiding something. It's so I suspect that they cannot reveal the price because people will complain. How come it's so high? Nobody will complain if it's low.
Nasaan si Duque, by the way? I mean, he would have been at the center of all of these things, right? He would have known it. I mean, whether it's the Farmali scandal, vaccine prices scandal, all the budget that were cleared during Duterte under, basically no transparency, zero transparency conditions. But I mean, back in the day, just nakakatakot mag-question ng gobyerno eh. Pwede ka ma-cyber libel agad eh. I remember those days. They were scary days for anyone who would criticize any aspect of the government's policies.
Well, I remember Secretary Duque then uh, saying that it was President Duterte who approved the transfer of the funds from his department, DOH, to the DBM for DBM to purchase these vaccines. So there was a transfer of funds approved by the president, because on his own he cannot transfer it. He has no power to transfer the funds. So uh, he stated that it was the president who authorized it, although the president, President Duterte, did not expressly say, yes, I authorize it. So that's the other thing, because if the uh, prices of Sinovac, at which the prices at which we paid for this, are high compared to the prices that Thailand and Indonesia paid, and it was President Duterte who authorized the transfer of the funds, then he was part of it from the very beginning. No?
Now, I know Duterte is basically.
Because you remember, this special purchasing body in the DBM is a separate unit under the office of the president. It's actually it's the president who appoints and supervises this DBM unit. It's there in the charter. So it was the president who ordered the transfer of DOH funds to this unit under the office of the president, although it's called DBM something. And so whatever those people did was with his upon his authorization. No? So it's you can really close the loop here.
Close the loop here. Pero naka-archive na si Digong sa ICC. So paano? Does it make sense? Hindi ba parang ano yan? Beating down na. No, but
Well,
it's about chain of command, dodginess.
yeah, we just have to find out what happened, because then we know who got the money if there was an overprice. No? And we can have a law saying that the in future cases, there should be an express public authority by the president authorizing the transfer of funds. It cannot be just verbal because Duque is saying it was just verbal.
Well, I won't be surprised if Digong is just like that, like parang ano yung mga gangster mayor style lang yung kanyang ano. Um, no, but just is going back to this, gaano ka malalim yung skandalo na yan. Kasi it's also PPEs, di ba? Ang daming mga, ano yan, daming nangyayaring kalokohan ng pandemic. And then you suddenly realize, oh, Vince Dizon was the pandemic czar, right? Like, it's like, oh, like suddenly things are lock in and lock out. Like, what are you realistically expecting on the Farmali part? Because that was a massive scandal during Digong, which obviously under Digong's time, good luck with going after him. There was impunity. But now, do you see just something moving on that front? Gaano ka mahalaga yan for accountability?
Well, I think uh, the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee at that time, Senator Dick Gordon, is pressing the ombudsman to reinvestigate it, and I support him because uh, this is the worst crime that any government official can commit. It's a pandemic. There's uh, there's a disease that's wreaking havoc on the people, and you make money out of this medicine, out of the vaccine. So I think this should be scrutinized. This should be investigated deeply by the ombudsman. No?
Yun nga incompetent na nga. One of the worst pandemic yung nangyari sa Southeast Asia sa atin, di ba? Highest death rates, highest economic damage, tapos biglang pinaka-strict pero delayed naman na lockdown. We were always at the bottom of the rankings, di ba? Any rankings on the management of the COVID. And then yun, pinaraan pa pala, di ba? So, this is a serious, serious issue. But, yun nga back in the day, remember Justice, binabastos lang ni Digong sila Dick Gordon and all. Di ba parang, ang laki
Yeah,
ng tiyan mo sorry, Dick Gordon, di ba ginaganon lang niya, di ba Dick, ang laki ng tiyan mo, ganun lang, he was just bullying the senators back then. Si Lacson na nga, hindi makagalaw eh.
yeah, because takot sa kanya eh, no? But there's a time for everything, and now that we have a new ombudsman, he's open to reinvestigating this, and I think he should. And it's very easy because you just compare the prices. Uh, Pag mataas ang atin, bakit tayo pumayag, no? I mean, we're supposed to be in good friends with China. The president, at least, was saying that he's a very good friend of the Chinese leadership. But why did if the prices were high, how come he accepted high prices compared to what Indonesia and Thailand paid? So it's a very simple case.
Very simple case of something really went wrong and like we really have to get to the bottom of it. I'm really shocked at
It's
how
just as I'm very curious, Richard, because all because the guy who filed this was a friend of mine, Joel Cadiz. He brought it to the Supreme Court, and all he's asking is, ano bang presyong binayad natin? How much did we pay for this vaccine? And nobody in government is giving him the answer. He went
something
to the
went wrong really.
DOH, he went to COA, he went to other agencies. Nobody's telling him. So why can't we know the actual price? Indonesia and Thailand already published the prices. Bakit sa atin, we cannot get the answer? So simple.
Baka Justice parang kay Sarah 1 year delay yung kanyang explanation. Baka na naman after 1 decade biglang ito pala yung mga prices natin. Like medyo delayed mag-clarify itong mga kaibigan natin na DDS. Now speaking of people forget like Vince Dizon was the pandemic czar during the time. Magalong was the contact tracing czar. I mean it's an interesting world, right? But I want to mention another interesting person, Bongo. Right? Who was de facto consigliere, right-hand man. I don't even know ano bang trabaho niya, senador, presidential assistant, lahat na lang, di ba? Photobomber. But now, of course, Bongo is also in hot waters. Senator Trillanes is already mukhang press ahead na siya with the filing of corruption cases. But, amidst all of this scrutiny, let's say heightened scrutiny of Bongo's track record, one of the explanation I heard from Bongo's side, to be fair to me, is hindi mo naman mapipili yung mga kapamilya mo or mga relatives mo kung biglang nagkaroon sila ng marami magandang projects. Um, Justice Scarpio, it's hard to argue that, right? Di ba? Hindi mo naman talaga mapipili yung pamilya mo. But how does the conflict of interest principle apply in legal terms?
Well, if you own a company or your family owns a company, uh, the rule is that company, your family should not be have an, should not enter into a contract with the government. If you are a member of Congress, like a senator, because you cannot be interested in any contract with the government. Now, sasabihin niya, hindi naman ako stockholder dyan, it's my father. But ang initial ng company, initial niya eh. And then, of course, you cannot say that it's my father who's because if the father something happens to the father, he will inherit the shares of the father. No, so being a member of the same family, I think that would fall under the term directly or indirectly interested in a contract. No, so it's something to be looked into. Uh, because there's a prohibition if you are a member of the Senate or Congress, you cannot be interested in any contract involving the government.
But Justice, he was not just a senator, he was also the presidential assistant. He was also like, lahat na lang sa kanya. Like, hindi kaya pwedeng sabihin, since I do everything, alangan naman, my family will not do anything kasi I'm everything. Hindi kaya pwedeng ganun logic, Justice Carpio.
well, well, as far as the public is concerned, if your father owns it, kasama ka na rin doon, di ba? That's a family business. But uh, legally, you can raise it that technically I'm not a stockholder, no, but politically it's difficult to justify, and getting that much contracts. I mean, billions of pesos. I mean, these contracts don't just land on your lap, no. A lot of legwork has to be done to get these contracts, and if you are the photo bomber of the president, people will think that you have the ear of the president, no? So, I mean, nobody, of course, politically will say, will accept that excuse, no? I mean, politically, legally, you can fight it out, but uh, uh, in terms of a public expectation of a government official, I mean, nobody will believe you when you say that uh,
What about
I
Justice
had
the
nothing to
argument
do with
na
it.
what about just argument, eh, hindi ko naman kasalanan ng kapamilya ko, pero hindi ko rin kasalanan na napakagaling nila. Kasi kahapon lang, biglang 7-Eleven, ngayon biglang buong SM Mall. Hindi ba kaya Justice, ano, baka siguro na-inspire sila kasi digong president, nag-level up sila ng skills nila. We would have deprived the country of really capable contractors, Justice. Isn't that a valid argument?
Well, I mean, uh, we all know how business works, how contracts are entered into in this country. I mean, you can say I have nothing to do with it. My name is not there, but you can do the bulong, no? And especially if it's if it's your father who owns the company and the company bears your initials, it's very difficult to tell the people na you had nothing to do with it.
Yun nga eh, yun nga
I
eh.
mean, yun yung sinasabi mo, tell that to the Marines.
Kawawa naman yung mga Marines natin. At least palaban sila sa West Philippines yan. Like itong mga ka-DDS natin. Which brings me to another interesting case of parang I see more deniability than plausibility, right? But eto na, si Chizo Escudero naman, Justice Carpio. Wag muna natin pag-usapan si Jinggoy and Joel. Medyo nawala sila ng konti sa usapan. But speaking of cheese, um, di ko ba umakyat ng... Speaking of cheese, sabi naman niya, hindi naman niya alam na may ganyan sa contractor, ganyan-ganyan. Private lang naman, friend lang, ganyan-ganyan. Ano yung, anong, may, ano ba yan, Justice? May ano yan? How should I put it?
Well,
Is it palatable, that kind of argument?
in the case of cheese, uh, the law says that you cannot accept campaign contribution directly or indirectly from a natural or juridical person uh, which has public works contract with the government. So, ito naman si Lubiano has his company, di ba? Yung company is, ano yung pangalan? Centerways Construction. He owns 99 point something percent. So, how can you how can you separate the personality of Lubiano as a person and his company? He owns it completely. 99 point something percent probably yung
Nag-effort
mga
pa siya. Sino ba yung
managing
point?
directors lang. So, who directs the company? Siya. So, sabi, hindi naman daw yung construction company ang nag-donate, siya naman personally, private fund. Pero nakalagay, you cannot contribute directly or indirectly, no? So, I think it should go to the Supreme Court. So, the Supreme Court will make a decision. Kasi we have this concept in the law, piercing the veil of corporate fiction. The If you totally control the company and the an act is committed in violation of a law, uh, the law will pierce the corporate veil, you know. So iba ito, the act of the instead of piercing the corporate veil here, you will what you will do is since Lubiano controls completely the company, he owns 99.9%, 99% or more of the company. So I think, in my personal view, when he made a personal decision, that's indirect contribution by Centerways, no? And because you after that contribution, lumobo yung contracts ng Centerways from the government, no? So I think it should be decided by the Supreme Court. Ano ba ito?
Ang dami palang trabaho ng Supreme Court Justice. Ang hirap pala. Maybe we
It
need to
should
make
go all the way
multiple.
because nakalagay directly or indirectly.
Yun nga,
So
indirectly din eh. Yeah.
it's that contribution of Lubiano,
Right.
an indirect contribution of Centerways because
Yeah.
Lubiano controls 99% or more of Centerways. Hindi, you cannot separate the personality. He completely dominates and controls the company.
Yun nga eh. I mean, cheese is a very good, marami siyang mga, ano eh, sophistry, chemistry, ganun. So let's see how is he gonna get himself out of it. So Justin, we're towards the end of this discussion. Thank you so much for this really, really comprehensive discussion. But I wanna end on again, this is something we have been warning since last December at least. Um, people are saying that baka next month may mga rumors di umano na may isang malaking religious group might pull off something like that they pull off earlier this year, except now we're looking at something that will come on the heels of what happened in Menjola, blah blah blah, that there's so we established that things are probably half full, half empty. Is that how you see justice when it comes to the dealing with the corruption issue? What do you think is important to make sure that nothing gets out of control next month? And then again, I mean, you coming from Davao, some people are saying maybe sedition, people power in Manila is not very likely, but what about secessionist moves or agitations back in Mindanao by supporters of the Dutertes? I mean, uh, how serious are these kinds of concerns, Justice? How to prevent the worst case scenarios?
Well, I'm sure from the side of the church and the civil societies organizing the trillion peso march this November 30, and in fact, ANIM already issued a statement signed by their Secretary General that they are not for uh, extra constitutional change in government. So they will follow the Constitution, and so from the group that has organized the Trillion Peso March, I do not see any problem. But of course, we cannot uh, predict what the other groups will do, like the Pro Duterte group, whether they will repeat uh, what they did last September 21. We cannot tell what they're going to do now. That's their own action. But as far as the Trillion Peso March organizers are concerned, they will it will be a peaceful rally. The priests and the nuns will be there. We will be there, and we assure the public that we are not part of any extra constitutional uh, uh, adventures here. No.
Uh, I mean, just as to what degree should we even take them seriously in light of did you see yung ginawa nila sa Forbes na mga dumaan lang yung mga medyo may edad na vloggers at si Meow Meow ano na pati yung mga BDDS nagalit din sa kanya. Ikaw mag-organize, ikaw pang late, mali pang napuntahan mo, tapos nag-computer games pa, tapos na late sa ethics committee the next day. I mean, Justice, are we lucky kasi purong mga clown show tong mga masasamang tao sa atin? Or like, maybe we should also still be careful. Like, I'm sorry, Justice. Sometimes, like, it's so ridiculous. I don't know. Why are we even taking these people seriously? Although, fortunately, we have to err on the side of caution.
Well, there are many kinds of people who are part of this play. You have people like Barzaga, who obviously is doing it on his own. He might be egged by the DDS, but I think he's doing it his own way. We're not worried about that, but we're worried about people who sent those black-clad masked people last September 21. I mean, that's the kind of demonstration that we don't want to happen. No?
Exactly, kaya nga, that kind of more Menjola style kind of violence. Hindi yung meow meow, more like a Menjola. Last point, Justice Carpio. On a serious note, though, where's the superpower dimension here? I mean, there were many people questioning bakit may US embassy representative pumunta sa ICI. Although, of course, we know that US has an interest because some of their aid is tied to their perception of corruption in the Philippines. Not to mention they have also investors, blah, 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 blah. But others would say this is imperial intervention, anong paki ng US, as if naman US is a beacon of democracy nowadays, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, there are also people saying that, that logically China would be a winner. Whether sedition, whether secession, what kind of whatever this the instability, because that just gives them more room for maneuver sa West Philippine Sea. Where do you see that aspect coming in, Justice?
Well, I think the U.S., just like the European countries, are worried because, of course, they have investments in the country, and they have to assure also their investors, their countrymen, when investing here, that it's okay to invest here. No, so they want to know. That's their job, to monitor what's happening here, so they can report to their home office and to their business people whether it's worth investing in the Philippines. So I think that's the normal work of diplomats. Now, would it benefit China? Yes, of course. If it will benefit China, if we have a regime change here that's not in accordance with the Constitution, uh, that will be that will destabilize the economy, not only the political system. So uh, that's why all the groups now are saying, no, we want to stay within the Constitution. This is we are not doing anything that's outside of the Constitution. So we have to repeat that to assure everybody, because anyway, elections is just 2.5 years away, and we have a chance to put in a new president at the time. No?
Absolutely, which is really the point. I think it's perfect to close it on that, Justice. Is it important there's more clarity on who's the leader of the opposition? I mean, clearly Lenny's still very busy with the situation in Naga. That's a huge challenge for her. I don't know with Bam, ano ba yung blockchain ba yung latest ano niya? But Kiko has been stepping up. Kiko Pangilinan, I think, has been doing a very good job since returning to Senate. Risa Ontiveros again reiterated in a talk in Harvard last week na bukas siya to run as the president. You think it's important that there's a clarity on who's going to be the flag bearer for the opposition? I know this is a tough, theme for you considering the One Sambayan experience, but isn't precisely your experience with struggling to put the unified front back in 2022? Isn't that supposed to give you better insights into what should happen in the coming years? I mean, we're not here to impose on anyone who should be the leader, but isn't it sensible ngayon pa lang there's a more clarity on that kaysa maghintay na naman tayo hanggang 2 years from now? I mean, who knows, even there'll be no coup or whatever. I mean, like, things are very fluid, right?
Well, ideally, we should have one or two strong candidates who are already working uh, to run for 2028, but it's not happening. So we just have to bring clarity to what will who will be our candidates in 2028. Uh, it's, uh, they're saying that there will be a decision 1 year from now, 1 year before the election. I think that will be too late. We should be prepared earlier this time. We cannot afford to prepare the last minute. So I hope that there will be a consensus soon.
Yeah, I mean, my best argument against that last minute kind of argument is, yeah, even if you win in 2028, sabihin niyo, oh, ito na naman sila Richard, Carpio, Ronald, nangingay na naman sila, ito na naman sila. Trust us, kami, we run elections, we can win, blah, 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 look at 2025. Ganun. Ang point ko is, if you're just gonna win the election, but you don't have a strong movement behind you, you're not gonna be very effective to, di ba? Kahit presidente ka man, kung ang Kongreso mo, ang Senado mo, di ba, ang LGU mo, purong trapo rin, hindi mo rin magawa yung kailangan mo eh, di ba? Kaya nga, just as I was saying, hindi mahalaga dito yung manalo lang ang presidente mo. Dapat talaga may kilusan, dapat talaga competitive ka sa multiple levels of government. Para kung nakapasok yung maayos na kandidato, may laban ka talaga na baguhin yung sistema, no? Justice, kasi ganun ang tingin ko, that's the only way that this could work eh. Even if we get a good president, he can or she can just do so much if purong trapo rin yung ibang branches of the state. We saw that with Pinoy eh. I mean, he tried his best at times. He was not perfect, obviously, but wala, hindi naman niya makontrol lahat ng trapo sa Kongreso and Senado and all of the other branches.
Yeah, so what we plan to do is to launch People's Initiative to adopt the anti-political dynasty law, and I think this will prepare us for the next election because we will have a philosophy. A,
My
a flagship
framework.
project where
Yeah.
uh, behind which people can rally, no? So hopefully that will galvanize the people.
Mabuhay ka, Justice Scarpio. Maraming salamat. Actually, people keep on asking about this people initiative na to because this is the good one. This is the good PI, not that other PI. So please feel free, Justice, to forward to us if there are places where people can volunteer, could help. Kasi people are also very interested in being part of a movement. Hindi lang nag-iingay online or umaasa lang na one or two bad people go down. So thank you so much, Justice Scarpio, for your service to the country. Mabuhay ka. Please take care of yourself. Kayo ni Ronald, Sir Ronald, kailangan namin kayo eh. Mahabang runway ito eh. And the next few months are gonna be intense. So, maraming salamat, Justice Scarpio. Have a lovely evening and talk to you soon. God bless po.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you to our viewers. Thank you.
Salamat, Justice. God bless.